Hi, I'm Nora. At 62, I'd seen enough of life to know when something wasn't right, but I never expected my grandson to be the one to open my eyes. My son David was marrying his second wife, Vanessa, a woman who'd swept into his life just 8 months after his divorce from Jenny. I sat with my grandson Tyler at table 9, away from the head table where David beamed at his new bride. Tyler colored on his children's menu while I sipped champagne. Grammy, why does Miss Vanessa have Daddy's phone? Tyler asked suddenly, not looking up from his drawing. I set my glass down slowly. What do you mean, sweetie? Last week when Daddy was in the shower, Miss Vanessa was looking at all his messages and taking pictures of them with her phone. Tyler switched from blue crayon to red. She told me it was a secret game and I shouldn't tell Daddy. My stomach tightened. Did she look at anything else of Daddy's? Uh-huh. His computer and his special folder with all the papers about the restaurant? Tyler looked up with innocent eyes. Is that bad? Before I could answer, David's best friend Marcus slid into the empty chair beside me. How's my favorite mother of the groom? Troubled, I said quietly. Tyler, why don't you go see if they have any cake in the kitchen? Tell them Grammy sent you. After Tyler scampered off, I turned to Marcus. I need to ask you something. Has David mentioned any problems with the restaurant lately? Marcus's smile faded. He's been worried about some inconsistencies in the books. Why? Tyler just told me Vanessa's been going through David's phone, computer, and business documents when he's not around. Marcus leaned back, running a hand through his salt and pepper hair. That tracks with some weird questions she's been asking me about the restaurant's finances and suppliers. I thought maybe she was just taking an interest. Or gathering intelligence, I said. Nora, be careful. That's a serious accusation about your son's wife of... He checked his watch. Approximately 2 hours. The wedding coordinator approached, interrupting us. Mrs. Winters, they're about to cut the cake. Your son is looking for you and his son. Tell him we'll be right there. I smiled tightly. As the coordinator walked away, my phone buzzed with a text from Jenny, Tyler's mother. Is Tyler okay? He seemed upset about something this morning. I texted back, need to talk to you, tomorrow morning. It's important. You know, Marcus said hesitantly, David mentioned that Vanessa suggested he change his will last week. I thought it was just standard pre-wedding stuff. After dating for less than a year, did he do it? I don't know. He seemed reluctant, but she's persuasive. I watched as Vanessa laughed with her bridesmaids across the room, her hand possessively on my son's arm. Marcus, I need you to tell me everything you know about her. Where she worked before, friends, family, anything. She's pretty private about her past. I know she was briefly married before, worked in finance somewhere in Boston. That's about it. That's not enough. I stood up as Tyler returned, chocolate already smudged on his cheek. I think my new daughter-in-law isn't who she claims to be, and I'm going to find out exactly what she's after. The morning after the wedding, Jenny arrived at my house promptly at 9. Tyler was spending the day with a friend while David and Vanessa flew to Barbados. So what's this about? Jenny asked, accepting the coffee I handed her. Though divorced from my son, Jenny had remained close with our family. She was practical that way. Tyler told me something concerning about Vanessa. She's been secretly going through David's personal and business information. Jenny's eyebrows shot up. That explains a lot. Last month, someone tried accessing the joint account David and I still have for Tyler's expenses. The bank called to verify. Did you tell David? I assumed it was him, but the timing lines up with when Vanessa moved in. Jenny set her mug down firmly. What exactly are we dealing with here? I paced my kitchen. I'm not sure yet, but I've asked my friend Elaine, she's a private investigator, to look into Vanessa's background. A PI? Isn't that extreme? Not if she's trying to take advantage of David. My doorbell rang. Elaine entered, laptop in hand. At 70, with sharp eyes behind cat-eye glasses, she looked more like a retired librarian than someone who caught cheating spouses for a living. I've got something, she announced, settling at my kitchen table. Your Vanessa was previously Vanessa Reeves. Then Vanessa Thornton during a brief marriage. She's worked at 4 different investment firms in 3 states over the last 6 years. That's not unusual, Jenny pointed out. What is unusual, Elaine continued, is that each firm reported financial irregularities after she left. Nothing they could prove conclusively, but enough that they were glad to see her go. Jenny leaned forward. You think she's targeting David's restaurant? It's successful, established, and mostly cash-based, I said. Perfect target. My phone rang. It was Marcus. I put him on speaker. Nora, I just got a call from Continental Bank. Someone tried to change the signatory on David's business account this morning. They called me as the secondary contact. My hand tightened around my phone. Let me guess, Vanessa. She had a copy of their marriage certificate and a letter supposedly from David authorizing the change. How could she? I stopped. The business folder Tyler mentioned. She must have forged David's signature. The bank declined without David's in-person verification, Marcus said. But she was insistent. Made quite a scene. Jenny shook her head. David won't believe this. He's completely infatuated. Well, he'll have to face facts, I said. Elaine, can you get me everything on Vanessa's past? Previous schemes, associates, all of it? Already working on it, Elaine replied. I have a contact at the Boston PD who might help. The doorbell rang again. This time it was Vanessa's maid of honor, Claire, looking nervous. Mrs. Winters, I need to talk to you about Vanessa. I ushered her inside, introducing her to the others. I overheard your conversation with Marcus yesterday, Claire admitted. And you're right to be suspicious. Vanessa approached me 6 months ago about investing in a foolproof business opportunity. When I declined, she got angry, said she had other plans anyway. A restaurant with guaranteed cash flow. How do you know her? Jenny asked. College roommates. She was always running schemes. I thought she'd changed, but when I saw her with your son... Claire hesitated. I should have said something sooner. You're saying something now, I reassured her, and you're going to help us stop her before she ruins my son. When David and Vanessa returned from their honeymoon a week later, I invited them to Sunday dinner. Elaine had compiled a comprehensive file on Vanessa's past. 3 name changes, 2 previous marriages ended under suspicious circumstances, and a pattern of financial manipulation. David arrived first. Vanessa was running errands. Mom, what's with the emergency family dinner? He asked, kissing my cheek. We need to talk about Vanessa, I said, leading him to the living room where Jenny, Marcus, and Claire waited. David stopped short. What is this, an intervention? Sit down, son, I said firmly. Why is Claire here? And Jenny? Mom, what are you doing? Marcus stood. Buddy, just listen, please. Reluctantly, David sat. I handed him Elaine's file. Your wife isn't who she claims to be. For 30 minutes, we presented our evidence. The bank call, Tyler's observations, Claire's testimony, Elaine's investigation. David's face grew increasingly pale. This is insane, he finally said. Vanessa loves me. She wouldn't... The front door opened and Vanessa walked in, freezing when she saw our gathering. Her eyes narrowed at Claire. What's this about? She demanded. They know Vanessa, Claire said quietly. About Boston, about Pittsburgh, all of it. David, these people are trying to poison you against me. Vanessa moved to his side, placing a hand on his shoulder, which he shrugged off. Did you try to change the signature authorization at my bank? He asked. I was just trying to help with the business while we were transitioning. Without telling me? David stood. Did you go through my phone? My business records? Sometimes in a marriage, one partner has to take initiative. We've been married for 11 days, David exploded. And apparently you started planning this takeover months ago. Vanessa's demeanor changed instantly. Fine. You want the truth? Your precious restaurant is the first decent opportunity I've had in years. Do you have any idea how hard I've worked to get here? By manipulating and stealing from others? I interjected. She whirled on me. You stay out of this, you interfering old woman. This is between me and my husband. Don't speak to my mother that way, David warned. I'll speak however I want. I earned this. Vanessa snatched the file from David's hands, scattering papers. You think these prove anything? It's circumstantial at best. The signature forgery isn't, Marcus said. The bank has it on camera. Vanessa laughed bitterly. You all think you're so clever. David, we can still salvage this. Send them away and we'll talk privately. There's nothing to salvage, David said quietly. I want you out of my house tonight. You're choosing them over me? Your wife? I'm choosing the truth. Vanessa's face contorted. You'll regret this. All of you. She grabbed her purse from the counter. Especially you, she hissed at me. I know where you live, old woman. Sleep lightly. As she stormed toward the door, she turned back. And David? I've already transferred $50,000 from your accounts. Consider it an annulment fee. After she slammed the door, David collapsed onto the sofa. I'm such a fool. No, I said, sitting beside him. You just wanted to believe in love again. What do I do now? First, Marcus said. We call the bank, then the police. The legal process moved swiftly once we filed reports. Vanessa had indeed transferred money from David's accounts, but electronically, leaving a clear trail. Her threat against me was recorded by the home security system I'd installed years ago but rarely used. Detective Harris sat across from me at the police station, reviewing my statement. Mrs. Winters, we've connected Miss Thornton, or whatever her real name is, to similar schemes in 3 states. Your evidence is the most comprehensive we've seen. Will it be enough? I asked. Combined with the bank records and her explicit threat against you? Absolutely. Wire fraud carries serious penalties, and the threat adds another charge. 2 weeks later, I sat in the courthouse with David as Vanessa was brought in for her arraignment. She looked smaller somehow. Her designer clothes exchanged for plain business attire, her confident smile replaced by a tight, controlled expression. When she spotted us, she asked to speak with David. The court officer looked to the judge, who nodded. David, she said quietly, eyes brimming with tears. This has all been a terrible misunderstanding. I was trying to surprise you to help with the business. Yes, I made mistakes in my past, but meeting you changed everything. I truly love you. David's jaw tightened. Stop. Just stop. Please, if you drop the charges, we can work through this. I'll get counseling. I'll make it up to you. I promise this isn't who I really am. The woman I married doesn't exist, David replied. She never did. And no, I won't drop the charges. You'll ruin my life over a misunderstanding? I stepped forward. A misunderstanding? You threatened me. You stole from my son. You tried to manipulate my grandson? I was desperate. People do crazy things when they're desperate. And they face consequences, I said. No matter how sorry they claim to be afterward. The court officer motioned that time was up. David, please, Vanessa pleaded. I love you. Goodbye, Vanessa, David said, turning away. A month later, I sat with Tyler on my porch swing. He'd been quieter since everything happened, and I worried how it had affected him. Grammy, he said, kicking his legs back and forth. Is Miss Vanessa in timeout? I smiled gently. Something like that, sweetheart. Because she took Daddy's things without asking? That's right. And because she tried to take money that wasn't hers. Tyler nodded seriously. That's stealing. Miss Garcia at school says stealing is very bad. Miss Garcia is right. Did I do good by telling you about the secret game? His eyes searched mine for reassurance. I hugged him close. You did exactly right, Tyler. You were very brave. Daddy was sad for a long time, but he smiles more now. Tyler looked up at me. He told me sometimes people wear masks to hide who they really are. Not Halloween masks, but pretend masks. That's true. But most people don't wear masks. Most people are honest, like you. 2 months after the arraignment, Vanessa was sentenced to 5 years for fraud and making criminal threats. David insisted on being there for the verdict, despite my concerns. I need to see this through, he explained as we drove home afterward. I need to know it's really over. How are you feeling? I asked. David sighed deeply. Relieved. angry, embarrassed. Take your pick. All normal reactions? You know what the hardest part is? He said, staring out the window. Not the money that we can recover. It's the doubt. Will I always wonder if someone's only interested in what I have, not who I am? What did your therapist say about that? That trust is built over time, not given instantly. That I need to pay attention to actions, not just words. He smiled ruefully. Basically everything you've been telling me since I was 10. Smart therapist, I said, patting his hand. 3 months after Vanessa's sentencing, we gathered at the restaurant. David, Tyler, Jenny, Marcus, Claire, and I, to celebrate its reopening after a brief closure for renovations. In reality, David had been updating all the financial systems and security measures. To new beginnings, Marcus toasted, raising his glass. And to Nora, Jenny added, who trusted her instincts. And to Tyler, Claire chimed in, our little truth teller. Tyler beamed proudly, clinking his juice glass with everyone else's. You know, David said, in a weird way, I'm grateful this happened. I've reconnected with what matters. Family, true friends, honesty. Does that mean you're not going to date anymore, Daddy? Tyler asked with the directness only a 5-year-old could muster. The table erupted in laughter. No, buddy, David ruffled his hair. It just means next time Grammy gets to approve first. That's right, I winked at Tyler. Grammy's got veto power now. David hugged me tightly. Thanks for saving me, Mom. Actually, I smiled at Tyler, who was happily devouring a slice of cake. Your son saved you. Sometimes the most honest eyes are the youngest ones. Later, as we walked to our cars, David asked, do you think I'll ever trust anyone again? Yes, I said confidently. Because despite everything, you still trust us. The right person won't give you reasons to doubt. How will I know? The same way I knew Vanessa wasn't right. Pay attention to the small things. And maybe run a background check, I added with a wink. David laughed, his first genuine laugh in months. I love you, Mom. I love you too. Now what do you say we take Tyler for ice cream? I think we all deserve something sweet after all this bitterness. As we drove away, I thought about how quickly life can change. One moment at a wedding celebration, the next uncovering a complex scheme. But I also thought about how the truth, even when painful, ultimately sets us free. Have you ever had your instincts about someone proven right? Share your story in the comments below.